If this message found you today, do not brush it aside in the next 5 seconds. Stop. Breathe. Read this slowly because something in you already knows why you are here. This is not random, not bad timing, not a trick of chance. It feels familiar for a reason. Before you spoke to anyone, before you admitted what still lives in your heart, you asked a question in silence. You asked it through pain, through waiting, through those nights when you looked calm on the outside but felt completely unsettled within. And now the answer arrives right at the edge of your doubt, right before you finally decide to walk away. So stay with me, because what comes next may explain the feeling you have not been able to name. And yes, this matters more than you think. If your heart has been carrying one name, one memory, one unfinished story, then listen closely. What you felt was not empty. What stayed alive inside you was not meaningless. And if you have been trying to convince yourself that it is over, while some deeper part of you refuses to agree, that inner resistance is not weakness. It is a sign. There is a reason this connection still breathes inside you. There is a reason the story never fully closed. And before you decide to shut the door for good, you need to hear this with full clarity. You are not holding on to nothing. For a long time, you tried to act as if everything had already ended. You kept moving. You kept functioning. You told yourself you were fine. Maybe you even smiled in front of other people and said you had accepted it. But deep down, something never became still. A quiet question kept returning whenever the world got silent. You wondered if what you felt was real. You wondered if it still mattered. You wondered whether this bond had purpose, or whether you had simply cared too much and built meaning around something that was never truly there. But the truth is, real connections do not disappear just because they become difficult to explain. Some bonds do not live only in daily contact or easy conversation. Some bonds keep speaking even through distance, even through silence, even through the strange pause where nothing seems to happen on the outside while everything keeps moving underneath. And that is where you are now, in the middle of a pause that looks empty but is not empty at all. Look carefully at your own heart. Why does this story still live there? Why does their presence still remain in your inner world? Why does your mind return when you try so hard to move forward? Keep watching, because the answer is not as complicated as your fear makes it seem. Sometimes the reason you cannot fully let go is simple. It is because something real still exists, even if you do not yet understand what shape it will take. You need to stop treating distance like proof that love has failed. Distance is not always loss. Silence is not always rejection. And time, no matter how long it feels, is not always an ending. Some people think that if two hearts are apart, then the bond must be weak. But life is not that simple. There are connections that continue beneath words, beneath routine, beneath what other people can see. What exists between two people is not always measured by messages, visible effort, or perfect timing. Sometimes the strongest bonds go through the deepest silence, not because they are fake, but because they are forcing both people to confront what is real. That is why your feelings have not vanished. That is why the story still feels alive in a place deeper than thought. You are not inventing that depth. You are not clinging to empty air. And no, you are not foolish for sensing that something is still moving behind the surface. In fact, that quiet inner knowing may be the most honest thing you have right now. Stay here, because this next part matters. The connection you feel did not begin in overthinking. It did not start as fantasy and then trick your heart into believing it. It touched you at a deeper level first. That is why logic has not been able to fully erase it. That is why even your strongest attempts to explain it away have not brought peace. Some truths are felt long before they can be clearly understood. There is someone who cares more than they show, someone whose silence hides more emotion than their words ever did, someone who may look distant, guarded, or even cold on the surface, while inside they are carrying thoughts they do not know how to handle. People often assume that if someone does not speak, they do not feel. But that is not always true. Some people go quiet because they do not care, yes, but others go quiet because what they feel is too strong, too confusing, too exposing. They pull back not because nothing is there, but because too much is there. They retreat to protect themselves from the weight of their own emotions. And if you have felt that this person is not truly gone, if you have sensed that their energy still circles back to you, that may be because on some level they are still turned toward you, even while trying to look away. Think about that. A person can leave a room and still carry your presence. A person can avoid your name and still hear it loudly inside. A person can act normal and still feel the empty space you left in their day. This is why surface behavior does not always tell the full story. The outside may say distance. The inside may say longing. The outside may show control. The inside may be chaos. And if this is speaking directly to your situation, do not click away yet, because what seems like stillness may actually be the beginning of a deeper return. You may have noticed strange moments lately. A sudden wave of heaviness with no clear reason. A mood shift in the middle of an ordinary day. A memory showing up so sharply that it interrupts whatever you're doing. A song playing at the exact moment your mind drifts toward them. A strange warmth in your chest. A sudden hollow feeling in your stomach. Most people dismiss these things as coincidence. But when a connection is still active, emotion often moves before explanation arrives. Sometimes you feel something before you understand whose feeling it is. Sometimes the sadness that touches you does not begin with your own thoughts. Sometimes it enters quietly, like an echo from someone who misses you and does not know what to do with that ache. And sometimes, in the middle of a busy moment, their face appears in your mind with unusual force, not because you are trying to hold on, but because the bond itself is still alive and asking to be noticed. This does not mean every feeling is a sign. It means some signs arrive through feeling, through timing, through repetition, through the way certain memories refuse to become ordinary. And if you have been sensing more than you can explain, trust yourself a little more, not blindly, not desperately, just honestly. There is a difference between obsession and awareness. Obsession drains you. Awareness quietly returns. Obsession screams. Awareness knows. And the truth is, your inner world may have been showing you for a long time that this story is not finished. When a connection is real, it tends to leave traces everywhere. In music, in dreams, in those moments right before sleep when your defenses are low and truth rises to the surface. You may hear a line in a song and feel as if it was placed there just for you. You may pass a place, a color, a smell, and suddenly be thrown back into a memory you were not trying to revisit. You may wake up with their energy around you even after promising yourself that you were done thinking about them. That does not happen because your heart is weak. It happens because some experiences mark you in ways that ordinary time cannot quickly erase. And there is another side to this that matters. If you still feel the echo of them, it is possible that they still feel the echo of you. They may hear your name and go quiet for a second. They may come across a memory and feel that same pressure in the chest. They may try to distract themselves and still find your presence waiting in the silence that follows. The truth does not disappear just because it is not spoken out loud. Some people carry their deepest emotions in complete silence. Some people love in a way that even they struggle to admit. So if you have been asking why this keeps returning, why the connection still pulls at you, why forgetting has felt so unnatural, here is one simple possibility. because it is not fully gone. And if that lands in your chest the moment you read it, then you already know this is not just a sentence. It is recognition. The reason this bond feels stronger than reason is because it touched something deeper than preference. It did not come into your life as a casual distraction. It came to wake something up, to expose something hidden, to open parts of both of you that may have stayed closed for years. Some connections arrive to pass the time. Others arrive to change the shape of your inner life. This is the kind that lingers because it carries purpose. That is why neither time nor space has fully erased it. That is why every serious attempt to detach may have brought temporary numbness, but not true peace. Something in you still recognizes the weight of this connection. Something in you still understands that it mattered before it made sense. And when a bond carries that kind of force, it often asks both people to grow before it can fully settle into form. That is the part many people do not want to hear. They want instant clarity, instant reunion, instant proof. But some of the deepest stories move through phases of separation, reflection, and inner change before they become stable in the physical world. That does not mean you are meant to suffer forever. It means you may be standing inside a process, not an ending. Listen closely here. A pause is not always punishment. A delay is not always denial. Sometimes life stretches the distance because both hearts still have lessons to learn before they can meet without breaking what they are trying to build. This person's silence may have far more to do with fear than lack of feeling. That matters because fear often wears the mask of distance. People who have been hurt deeply learn how to protect themselves before they learn how to receive love well. They build emotional armor piece by piece. It keeps them safe, or at least it seems to. It helps them avoid disappointment. It helps them stay in control. But when a real connection enters their life, that armor starts to crack. And instead of feeling only joy, they may feel exposed, shaken, threatened by how much they suddenly care. So what do? They pull back, they delay, they go silent. They try to reduce the intensity by increasing the distance. Not because the bond means nothing, but because it means too much. They fear what will happen if they surrender to it fully. They fear loss before loss has even happened. They fear the future because of the pain still stored from the past. And if you have been taking their withdrawal as proof that you were unimportant, you may need to reconsider that. Sometimes silence is not the death of feeling. Sometimes it is the sound of inner conflict, a heart trying to protect itself while wanting to move closer, a soul pulling one way while fear pulls the other. That struggle can last longer than it should. It can create pain, it can create confusion, but it does not automatically mean the love was false. In some cases, it means the feeling was stronger than the person knew how to manage. Right now, while you are trying to make sense of the distance, they may be going through a private battle that no one else can see. Life has a way of removing distractions when someone can no longer avoid what they feel. The routines that used to numb them stop working. The people who once filled the silence no longer fill it the same way. The things they used to run toward start to feel thin, temporary, unsatisfying. And in that emptiness, truth gets louder. Your absence becomes noticeable in ways they did not expect. Not dramatic all at once, but steady, persistent. Their chest tightens at odd moments. Your memory returns when they least want it to. They begin to understand that what they stepped away from did not become smaller just because they stopped talking about it. In fact, the silence may have made it stronger. That is what happens when something meaningful is ignored but not resolved. It waits, it lingers, it grows roots, and eventually it asks to be faced. This is why their process may look slow from the outside. They are not only dealing with feelings for you, they are dealing with every wound, fear, and old belief that those feelings have stirred up inside them. That does not excuse harmful behavior, but it may explain why things have felt stuck. A person cannot offer stable love while still hiding from themselves. First, they have to see the truth. Then they have to stop running from it. Then they have to choose it with clarity. And yes, sometimes that takes longer than the heart wants. While all of this is happening within them, something is also happening within you. This part is important, so do not miss it. The connection is not only shaping their growth, it is shaping yours too. You are being asked to learn a harder kind of love, the kind that does not collapse into panic every time the outside world becomes uncertain. You are being asked to stay rooted in yourself, to feel deeply without losing your center, to care without turning your whole life into waiting, to trust your inner knowing without begging the world for constant signs. That is not easy. In fact, it may be one of the hardest lessons of all, but it is changing you, slowly, quietly. You are learning how to hold love and self-respect in the same hand. You are learning how to stop chasing what must come freely. You are learning that your peace matters too. And this is where everything begins to shift. Because the moment you stop living in fear of losing the connection, you begin to stand differently inside it. You stop grasping, you stop forcing, you stop sending desperate energy into the very thing you want to become calm and clear. That is when your presence becomes stronger, not weaker. That is when attraction deepens instead of collapsing under pressure. If reunion is meant to happen, it will not be healthiest when built on fear. It will be healthiest when both of you can meet with more balance, more truth, and less emotional chaos. So what do you do now? You do not sit in helpless waiting. You do not chase. You do not bury your feelings and pretend they never existed. You release the panic, not the meaning. You return to calm, not because the story is finished, but because your fear does not need to write the next chapter. Tell yourself something stronger than doubt. Tell yourself that what is real does not need constant forcing. Tell yourself that what is meant to return will not be kept away by every passing delay. Tell yourself that silence cannot erase what touched the soul. And if you need a simple line to come back to when your mind starts spiraling, let it be this: I do not need to fear what is truly mine. Say it again when the night feels too long. Say it when impatience starts building. Say it when the old urge to chase comes back, because energy changes when you stop speaking from desperation and start speaking from trust. That is not fantasy. That is emotional alignment. When you calm your inner world, you stop pushing against the natural unfolding of the connection. You become more magnetic because you are no longer trying to control the outcome every minute. And yes, this matters more than most people realize. Fear closes the hand. Trust opens it. Fear creates noise. Trust creates space. And many things can finally move once space exists. Still, trust does not mean passivity. It means clear sight. It means understanding that if this bond is real, then it must become real in a healthy way, not only in a painful, mystical, unfinished way. So keep your heart open, but keep your standards clear. If this person returns, let it be with honesty. Let it be with effort. Let it be with truth that can live in daylight, not only in hidden feelings and late-night energy. Love is not only about sensing, it is also about showing up. It is also about courage. It is also about being willing to move past fear and choose what matters. That is why their healing matters. That is why your grounding matters. Because if two people are truly meant to build something lasting, the bond cannot survive on longing alone. It needs maturity. It needs emotional honesty. It needs both people willing to stop letting old wounds control the future. So if you have been given this pause, use it well. Become steadier. Become clearer. Let your love mature instead of harden. Let your intuition sharpen instead of turning bitter. There is power in becoming the calmest version of yourself while the story is still unfinished. There is power in refusing to let uncertainty destroy your faith in what you felt. And there is even more power in knowing that if love is real, it will eventually ask for action, not just emotion. There may come a moment very soon when the silence shifts. Not with fireworks, not with some perfect speech, maybe with a message, a glance, a return of presence, a small opening that feels simple from the outside but carries deep meaning because of everything that came before it. When that moment arrives, do not meet it with the old panic. Meet it with calm. Let them come closer without making fear the center of the room. Let the truth reveal itself slowly if it must. Real things do not always rush, but they do become clear. And if you have read this far, then maybe part of you already feels that movement beginning. Maybe that is why you could not stop reading. Maybe that is why your chest tightened at certain lines. Maybe that is why, even now, some part of you feels seen. Hold on to that. Not the anxiety, not the fantasy, the clarity, the recognition, the simple, steady truth that what touched you this deeply did not enter your life for no reason. Some people are lessons, some are mirrors, some are turning points, and some are all three at once. This connection may have come to break old patterns, to wake sleeping parts of the heart, and to teach both of you how to meet love without running from it. That is not a small thing. That is life-changing. So do not treat it like it was nothing just because it became difficult. And here is the part your heart may need most right now. You are not crazy for feeling that this is unfinished. You are not weak for still caring. You are not foolish because your soul keeps returning to the same place with quiet certainty. The world teaches people to trust only what is immediate, obvious, and easy to explain. But not everything true begins that way. Some truths arrive as a whisper first. Some bonds remain hidden while they are being shaped. Some stories go silent before they become undeniable. And if this has been one of those stories for you, then take this as your reminder not to betray your own inner knowing just because the path has felt unclear. Stay wise, stay grounded, stay open. Let love teach you, but do not let fear command you. Let the connection reveal itself, but do not lose yourself trying to decode every second of silence. What is real will keep showing its weight. What matters will keep returning for resolution. And what has touched both hearts this deeply will not vanish just because the road became uncomfortable for a while. So if you were on the edge of giving up completely, pause, not forever, just long enough to see with new eyes. Something is still alive here, something is still forming, and the next chapter may be closer than you think. So move forward with calm strength, take care of your life, protect your peace, keep your heart honest. If this person is truly connected to you in the way you feel, then the story is not ending in this silence. It is changing shape. It is asking for courage. It is asking for healing. It is asking both of you to become people who can hold a rare kind of love without destroying it through fear. That is why this has felt so heavy. That is why it has not been easy to release. Because on some level, your heart knows it is carrying something meaningful. And meaning does not disappear because a chapter becomes quiet. It waits, it works in hidden places, it returns when both people are ready to meet it differently. So tonight, or this morning, or whenever you are hearing these words, let them settle inside you. You do not need to chase what is being guided. You do not need to force what is still unfolding. And you do not need to call your love an illusion just because the proof has not fully arrived yet. Keep your faith clean. Keep your energy steady. Keep your eyes open. The bond is not asking you to break. It is asking you to trust, to grow, and to recognize that some connections are tested not to destroy them, but to reveal how real they truly are. And if this spoke to your heart, then you already know. This is not the end.